You're delaying. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the medal winners ceremony of the ISU World Figure Skating Championships 2022, Montpellier, France. It is at this time that we award the ISU small medals, free skating, and honor the overall medal winners in ice dance. ISU Small Medals Award category ice dance, free dance. Third, and winner of the ISU Small Bronze Medal, Madison Chock, Evan Bates, United States of America. Second, and winner of the ISU Small Silver Medal, Madison Hubble, Zachary Donahue, United States of America. First, and winner of the ISU Small Gold Medal, Gabriela Papadakis, Guillaume Ciceron, France. And now, the prizes of honor are awarded to the 3 overall medalists in ice dance of the ISU World Figure Skating Championships 2022. The watch is offered by our sponsor, Citizen. In third place, Madison Chock, Evan Bates, United States of America. In second place, Madison Hubble, Zachary Donahue, United States of America. The World Ice Dance Champions for 2022, Gabriela Papadakis, Guillaume Ciceron, France. Okay. We will want to take a picture with you.
Do you believe one of them will be famous afterwards?
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and good night.
I need a lot of water. And some potassium. That's a lot of numbers.
It's a big boy watch.
Face hurts. Is that for all of your diving?
Bonsoir, good evening. This is the final press conference for ice dance. Congratulations to all 3 medalists. I don't know where to start from, honestly, because there have been so many things to say during this season. First of all, should I do in French or in both languages or not? English. Okay, we'll save time then. Thank you. Gabriela and Guillaume, this is your 5th world title. And since the discipline was in the World Championships, In 1952, it has happened only 4 times that someone wins at home. Only 4 times. 1962.
Oh, well, you don't say.
What?
You don't say.
1962 with Czechs, Romanova in Prague, Anisina Pezra in 2000, Russians in 2005 in Moscow, and yourself. How do you explain that it's been so rare that to win at home?
I mean, I don't think we have many opportunities to skate at home. Last time was in Nice, and weren't even competing, so I think it's kind of once in a lifetime, and for it to be an event where you have your chances of winning too, I think it's just pretty rare. So I think we're just very, very lucky to have had that opportunity and to have been able to experience this moment at home, and yeah, it's pretty special.
You know that I love the records and the perfection marks you accumulated so far in your career. Tonight, Madison and Evan got 4 of them. Zach and Madison at 8. Out of 45 possible, you had 36. That is very impressive. 4 in skating skills, 5 in transition, 9 out of 9 in performance, 9 out of 9 in composition, and 9 out of 9 in interpretation of the music. It's like the old 6-0 for those who are familiar with figure skating. How do you cope with that?
Huzzah.
How do you cope with being absolutely phenomenal?
How do you cope with being so good?
Wait. How do you cope with it?
It's really hard. Honestly, we're the worst people when it comes to scores. We usually don't even look at them.
Yeah, true story. When we're in the kiss and cry and the score comes up, we have no idea what it means. So look at the coaches to ask if it's good or not. That's how we are with numbers.
But the way you describe it is very overwhelming.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I did my research. Okay. Maddie and Zach, the Montreal school is doing 1, 2, 3. And I know that we have here Patrice, Marie-France, Romain, and the other ones.
And the other ones.
So
Steph and Ben and Joe and Pascal.
and Samuel. I mean, the one.
Oh, the ones here.
Yeah, here,
Just like
yes.
the ones that are here.
But it has been before achieved. I don't know if you know that. 1, 2, 3 in the same school. Back in 2011, Igor Spielband and Marina Zueva did that with Charlie White, Meryl Davis, Tessa Virtue, and Scott Moyer, and Maya and Alex Shibutani. How can you explain that your school wins this year? Like that's for all 3 of you.
Well, I wasn't obviously in the school that you're speaking of. What I know for ours is that beyond just being 1, 2, and 3 on the podium, we're walking away with a friendship that I think is very unique in this sport, and our coaches have led the way in many respects when it comes to art and creation and transforming the sport in many ways. But I think one of their biggest contributions has been changing the way that we as sportsmen interact with each other, and standing on the podium all together isn't an accolade that they're taking as separate individuals being 1, 2, and 3. I think it's them looking at us and realizing what they've created is a true family and a oneness, and it shows because every single one of our other teams stayed, watched the entire event, and stayed for an hour and a half taking photos with all of us, no matter their placement. So I have to say this is unique, and I'm not sure if it will be repeated ever again.
Gabby and Guillaume, and also afterwards Evan and Maddie.
I mean, she said it so well. I think there's nothing else to add. It was very well said.
Ditto.
That was short. Questions? Yes. First row. Au milieu.
So actually, can you tell us if it's a real competition or a family reunion for you? Was it more? Because from what you're saying, you're all very close friends. So was it like a true competition, or did you feel like a family reunion?
Well, I mean, for me, I think we are part of a team before we're competitors. That's always how I saw it. Being, at that level and competing, it's very hard, and it's hard to share that with someone who is not experiencing it, even at the moment. And so for me, I see all of these people as, the only ones that can relate to what I'm going through. I know that every time I see all the girls, and both Maddie's here, in the changing room, I see them as like, they're going through what I'm going through right now, and we're the only one in the world living that right now. So I think for me, it's we're all fighting against the same thing together, which is our fears and our doubts and all of these things. I think it's mostly who we're fighting against and not each other, and we're together in that. That's how I see it. So it's amazing, and I'm I feel so lucky to have had these wonderful athletes that share that same mentality with me all season.
Jackie.
Gabriella, Guillaume, the two of you as faces and bodies have been all over Montpellier. Which leads me to questioning you on what is the most interesting thing that you have seen yourself on?
Great question.
Yeah, we've seen ourselves on trash cans, which we'll take it as a compliment. Hand sanitizer, bottles, what else? A tramway.
Tram, yeah.
Many bathrooms.
Trash
Yeah,
cans are pretty
I think, they were scared that they went a little bit too far with the, but I think it was just perfect.
Of course.
Our coach Marie-France said, you've made it when your face is on a bottle of water, so it's a great achievement in our lives.
Is it tasty?
We would rather have it on a bottle of champagne, but might be waiting for us somewhere.
It's not too late. Anyone?
Well, as far as I know, some bottles have been ordered for tomorrow, if I'm right.
Ooh.
Not for me, but for your club in Montreal. Jean-Christophe.
Merci, Célina. It's such a joy to see the three of you, the six of you, the seven of you together on that podium.
Thank you.
For once, if I may ask you my question, Madison and Evan, because it's great for me to see you also on that podium. I've been missing you. You've put yourself into question so many times on your glide, on your interpretation, and now on your gesture. Can you tell us what it took this year to come up with such a gesture that is so different, so original, so creative, and so adapted to the middle, the space you're living in?
I think we had the idea for the free dance a few years ago, we didn't anticipate that it would become our Olympic program, and it took a little bit of faith, a lot of faith from our coaching staff, and to push us in this direction and reassure us that this was the right vehicle for us in an Olympic year. I think we weren't necessarily sure that was the risk that would pay off for us. I think before moving to Montreal, we didn't identify as much as we do now as a team willing to take those creative risks and being able to pull it off. But since moving to Montreal, they have helped us to realize what our true strengths are as a team, and I think that those are that we are quite different, and we have a lot of contrast in our appearance. And you know, Maddie as a designer is extremely creative, and we put a lot of thought and effort into the lifts that we create and the music selections that we make. And I think over the last 2 years, with our last 2 free dances in particular, we've really solidified that identity for ourselves. But when we were selecting music for the Olympic year over Zoom, we were reassured by Roman that this was the right program. And we're like, "Are you sure? It's kind of crazy to do a space program for the Olympics." And he was like, "Do it. You have to do it.
Why not?
Why not?"
No,
So
why not?
I think it certainly, we wouldn't have been, I think, as bold as we have been without the team behind us to encourage us and to push us in this direction. And yeah, anything to add?
No?
Nick, in 1 second, I just want to pay tribute to someone who is very important for ice dance in France. She just died 2 or 3 weeks ago, Lisiane Loret. She was a famous judge, and her name is here, and we want to celebrate her. So, where you are, Lisiane, we think of you. She was a very famous person, icon in ice dance in France. Nick.
Congratulations to you each. Gabriella, you spoke about after Beijing being so nervous and taking to the ice, and if anyone else wants to chime in here, but what was the difference tonight? You had 9,000 screaming. It felt like all of France essentially was inside the arena for you. How did you handle your nerves in that situation, for the two of you especially, versus there were a few fans obviously with us in Beijing, but it was quite a different atmosphere. Thanks.
Yeah, very different competitions. I think the stress was very different. In Beijing, we were really going there to compete and get the gold, and that was our goal. And here, I think we saw it more as a celebration of our journey, of our school, of the sport, and being able to share that with our parents, our friends, our fans was extremely special. I think it was much better than we could have imagined. Having a full audience here after COVID was incredible. The arena is also really beautiful, and it's an indescribable. We can't describe the feeling that it is to hear this many people screaming for you. I think we both had chills, and it was really hard to hold our tears before the performance. And then the music begins, and all is good. But yeah, it was very, very emotional being here with the French audience.
I look at your nails, Gabriella. They are blue and yellow. And yeah, from right, Maddie did it.
Yeah, she did.
Can you explain why?
I love those colors. No, no. I mean, I think this competition has been kind of weird, with everything that's going on in the world in Ukraine. It's been quite heartbreaking to see that from afar after the Olympics. I just, I don't know, too many things to say about it, but I think sport is a great way to, I think, promote peace and solidarity. I think it was wonderful what Alexandra and Maxime did and all the other Ukrainian skaters. It was admirable. And I felt that for me, I think, it's you do what you can do, right? And wearing the Ukrainian flag on my fingers was what I could do, and that was important for me, for people to see that, we are with Ukraine, and we hope that peace is going to happen.
Thank you for that thought. Next question. Yes, Benjamin.
I have a question for Zachary and Madison. I would like to know how you prepare for this championship, maybe balancing the need to be very focused. There were still 2 programs to skate, and maybe emotion arising because it's your last one.
Well, anyone who was with us this morning in practice knew I wasn't handling it super well. It was like a happy cry, but I was crying, like full sobs on practice ice. And my amazing coaching staff, reminded me about the job I had to do. And, we have many years of experience competing together, and, I know what it feels like to go out with the best intentions and get totally wrapped up in the emotion of the moment, making a small mistake and having to leave the ice with some disappointment. And so I was searching this afternoon for what exactly I was going to do, because I didn't really want to just try to block everything out. And it came to me as I was warming up and arriving at the arena, and I just thought about my whole career and realized that something I really admired about myself was my ability to attack a performance and to be strong, to hold someone's gaze, and be confident in how excellent I can be. And so that's where I sat. I decided I was going to be authentic to myself. I wasn't going to search for the emotion of it being my last time, and instead celebrate what I've been able to become over the last 22 years. So, I couldn't be happier with what we did on the ice.
Next, yes. Oh.
Yeah. So my question is to Gabby and you. Can you please share your emotions as you were going through your program, as you were dancing? You seem like you always dance like you're on your own world. But then at the end, when you finished your performance and the crowd stood up and all the noise, and what was going through your mind? What did you feel at this moment?
It's really hard to describe. I think, as I was saying, starting the program, I think it's a little bit like everything disappears, and you kind of trust your body and your partner to just do what it can do. And I don't know, we've done it so many times, and every movement is really printed in our bodies. Like it takes, at this point of the year, it takes minimal effort to go through a program like this compared to the beginning, and so it's a lot more enjoyable. There's, specific movements that we love doing more than others. Some of them, give us chills even doing them, and then, some moments of eye contacts and some moments of, I don't know, trying to remember it is, it's more of a blur, but it's like little flashes of I don't know, like freedom and joy, and it's really hard to describe. And just being home, and I think being in France after this year was very special without the crowd. We knew our coaches and our teammates were on the side. Our families were here too. So I think this time we really didn't just do it for us. We did it for our public, and we tried to be as generous as we could. and you know, trying to grasp every moment, because it was very special. As he said, that having Worlds in France is, and being at the top of our careers is very, it's a very special timing, and we know how fast it goes. So we're really trying to grasp every moment of it.
Yes.
Well, first of all, congratulations to all of you, and thank you for the emotions, and congratulations also to the school that is such a good home to you. A question to all teams, looking at your career and your accomplishment, knowing them, what would you say to your younger selves, to the kids that you were when you started skating? Hang in there, kid, it's all worth it. What would you say? Thank you.
I guess I would just encourage my younger self to believe in myself more and know that I'm capable of more than I give myself credit for. And I think that's a really powerful message for a younger me to grasp. You? You?
Well, for me, and I think, you know, it's common to every human being on this planet, but I've felt quite a few times in my life that I was afraid that I wouldn't belong to this sport the way that I was, and I would, tell her that it's not true.
It's only the girls, or what? I don't know.
I mean, it's a hard question. I think it's really hard in a competitive sport not to struggle with self-confidence, and I think knowing your skills is one thing, and then learning how to trust yourself in every other areas of your life is another. And I think for myself, skating has taught me a lot in all aspects of my life, and I wouldn't change anything about the way I grew up, but I think I would for sure reassure myself that that I'm worth it, worth the work.
Yeah, I don't think if I had the chance to go back and tell myself that I would say anything. I think everything I've lived has been for a reason, and I've learned lessons through all of it. So I believe that I had to go through every single moment to be the person I am today, and I have no regrets. Oh, he speaks.
It's my last time. I gotta say something. I would say for me, if I look back, I don't believe in living I don't believe in living a life full of regret. If I could have changed one thing, it would just have been to take in more experiences. As I'm sitting here looking at all of my friends and teammates, all of you, our coaches, it really sinks in just the things you are gonna miss not being on the competitive aspect. And we've forged so many amazing friendships, relationships, connections that I'm very appreciative of. And I'm going to miss some people a lot, and I'm very grateful for all of the people in my life that have shaped who I am as a man, as a person, as an athlete, as a dancer. My incredible partner, these amazing teammates, this coaching staff that, guys, you don't know how much they put up with, but who have just helped shape me into the person I am today. So I'm very proud, and I would try to use that as a way to encourage other younger athletes coming up to really live in the moment and to take everything in.
Myself to relax a little bit, probably that, especially at competition, just chill out a little bit. You'll be fine.
Any more questions here? Yes, Nick. And then we'll go remote because we've got questions remote.
Oh, hello. Hi. For Maddie and for Evan, please. I think it's your first time on the world podium since 2016, if I'm not wrong. And so how has the last few years of challenges, everyone's been through them, but how have you faced the challenges that you have? And is there a certain satisfaction? I know you're oftentimes talking about wanting to perform the way that you know you can, but what satisfaction do you take out of that finish? Thanks.
I think over the years, Evan and I have really proved that we have an incredible determination to accomplish our goals, and not only accomplish them, but rise with them and rise to the occasion. It certainly hasn't been an easy path getting back onto the world podium, but it's one that has shaped us and has been so valuable, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way, because I feel like we were meant to take this journey and learn these lessons so we could meet these incredible people and share in these bonds and relationships and grow in more ways than I ever thought were possible before. So it's incredible to be back on the world podium and to have gone through so much change since the last time we were on the podium, which is a long time ago.
I think we would have never guessed that it would have taken us 6 years after being on the podium in 15 and 16. I think it's just sport, like life, is so unpredictable, and you can never guess what's to come. And I think that's especially true because we felt like we were constantly putting 100% into our craft and trying so hard to get back on the podium for so many years, and it felt like what it really required was, reinvention and change and moving away from home. And even still, I mean, it's been 3 years since we moved to Montreal, and this is our first world medal. So it's difficult, yeah. But this is a difficult achievement to accomplish, and I think when we were on the world podium before, maybe we didn't appreciate it as much as we do today.
Before wrapping up, we've got one question remote. Just a reminder that we are switching to daylight savings, so do not forget to advance your clock for 1 hour for everyone. And you've got the gala tomorrow morning to practice, right? That's also for everyone. We've got a question from Japan, from Sport. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So congratulations again on winning the medals here with fantastic performance. Watching this press conference, I feel like I am watching a graduation ceremony. So the best students in the class graduate with the highest degree possible, and then there are many laughters, tears, etc. So my question is, during your years in the Montreal Skating School, what is the best lesson that you have gained from the coaches? Thank you.
And it's 6 a.m. in Tokyo.
Wow. Yes.
She was in the mix zone 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, trying to whittle it down to one.
There are so many. Why don't you ask the coaches? Clearly, we haven't learned that much.
I mean, it's impossible to resume it to one thing. You should have sent your question a month ago. I don't know. I think, as Maddie said earlier, I think the relationships that we've built, I think, are absolutely magic. I think it's already. I remember being even at the Olympics and feeling we're already so lucky to be here, to be at the top in our sports, and to share that with a team of coaches that we adore and with teammates that we cherish as well is just it's better than we could you know, have wished for. Et voilà.
Oh, we're okay. There are many lessons, of course, that we each take from our coaches. I think for me, I think they've led by example and have made me realize as I, mature and start building another kind of life, that if you're not surrounded by people who love you and appreciate you and make you feel heard and challenge you, then get new people. It's an atmosphere that's incredibly inspiring, and that's why they've had so much success. So that's a lesson that I'll take in building my life as I move forward.
I would just build on what Maddie said. I mean, leading by example, the way that they treat their work, the way that they treat each other, the way that they include one another, the coaches and the students, the way that they pull the best from people by leading with compassion and empathy. And, growing up in figure skating, there are, it can be a very challenging work environment sometimes with some coaches and some people, and that's not the case at our school at all. And I think that is paramount to the success that they've had, is because of the culture that they've built, and they live it, and they don't just preach it, but you can just see it in the way that they carry themselves and conduct themselves and show up every day consistently with the same attitude and the same values, and then it's transferred to all the students and all of us, and you hear us up here talking about how wonderful our experience is and how great our lives are, and our friendships. And it's true and it's authentic because we've gained that from them. They started it.
If I'm correct, there were 13 teams from Montreal here. If I'm correct, and there were 11 at the Olympics. Before wrapping up, finally, thank you, Nicolas, at the back end. Thank you, the ISU team, who is also at the end. And thank you to the OC team who helped me to do that. Have a nice flight or train back home, whatever. And see you next year, but in Saitama. Thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.